Hi, welcome in Pesky Pole YouTube channel. Out of the Park Baseball 23 is up. I want to make a quick video. There's a lot of talk about out of the park baseball not being good for strict replays, and it doesn't give you accurate stats and all those things. That's not true. And out of the park baseball is kind of my first love. It's kind of my introduction to the PC world of simulation, and I've had it since Out of the Park Baseball 2, I believe. And now listen, I don't really play my historical replays with Out of the Park Baseball. I prefer PC replay baseball for that. And it's just a preference. And it's not because Out of the Park Baseball is bad at that. It's actually really good at that. I think PC replay baseball is the best at it, and Out of the Park Baseball maybe a smidge less than that. And really, it's a preference. It's more about how pitching is handled in terms of if you're doing a strict replay, strict lineups and all those things, strict starting pitcher. It's kind of more how they handle the bullpen more than anything else. Um, you know, in terms of pitchers who may go back and forth between starting in the bullpen and things like that. But it's pretty good. And I'm gonna go ahead and set one up, okay? And I'm gonna go ahead and simulate a whole season because I want to kind of debunk this myth. And people say it's not accurate. I think, and it's not that people are wrong. It's because I don't think they're doing the settings correctly. Okay, and and the cool thing about this game, you can do so much with this game. Okay, I currently, and I think I made a video about this before. I currently have a league I'm playing, which is a it's fictional players, but I'm using real life teams in real life settings. So I began it in 1979 was the season, and I erased all the real players, deleted them all, and then imported fictional players. And from now on, I have fictional players, but it's the real teams, the real settings, the real uniforms that loaded in here. And I'm just playing the history of baseball from 79 on, only using fake players, or fictional players, fake, like, So anyway, so here's how you do it. The best way to do a historical game: you go new historical game, okay. You can do the challenge. That's I wouldn't present doing that stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna choose 86. All right, just because that's kind of that's my go-to league. That's my go-to year. Red Sox. I'm 12 years old. That's all right. So you know, this stuff here, the complete history, you can keep that on there, if you want to. Doesn't really matter. You do the real minor leagues. When you're playing a strict replay, you really don't need minor leagues because it's all about kind of the guys who come up and so forth and about player development. So I wouldn't even worry about that. In my fictional league I have right now from 79, I have the real minor leagues because I'm trying to create the real minor leagues, and I'm developing fictional players. In this one here, you're trying to relive your own childhood or your own history, and you want your players and so forth. So we're gonna just not check those. So here's career play. We don't want career play, although you can choose career play and still set the settings up, okay, to make it a replay, like But we'll just do like this. So we're gonna do single season replay. All right. I got 86 in there. Boom. It's gonna load up here. This will take quicker to load. I haven't checked those things. Um, Important players. So here's the thing: we're going to use real historical transactions, use real historical lineups. All right. Minor leagues, you really don't need. Um, you can put AAA in there, but it doesn't really matter. I'll show you how in a second. All right. So we're going to disable. This is the important thing too. You disable. You can recalculate for each season, and I'll teach you about that too. Disable player development. Okay, so you don't want any players developing. You don't want any players, um, you know, regressing because you're doing this. Financial settings don't really matter. Okay, I mean because you're not playing with finances on. You're playing a replay, so you're not doing that. Um, Rating scale, okay, potential rating scale, really you don't need because you're not looking at potential, you're looking at what they are right now. That's the rating scale. I do 20 to 80. You can do what you want to. Always have the pictures on here. I have the pictures loaded up for them. Boom, I do this. I'm going to label it 1986. Okay, I play in commissioner mode. I play cannot be fired. Okay, because you can play commissioner mode. It doesn't really matter because it's you're all um, there's no like scouting down here because all the ratings are for you to see. So GM manager, I mean, doesn't really matter and so forth. All right, so just doing this real quick. And someone in the Facebook group asked if they want to just want to watch it and then jump in and manage sometimes. So I'm gonna kind of do that. I'm not gonna choose a team to manage. We're just gonna kind of let it sim out. So right here it tells you to choose a team. All these logos are in there. You'll see the Cleveland Guardians, and I know this. I don't want to get political, all the stuff there too, but out of the Park 23 has outlawed the use of Indians. You can still make them Indians though. And I'm not making a political statement or stance on this at all, but I mean, if you're playing historical league, you want it to be historical league. You're not if you do so, you're not making some kind of stance that on that. So I mean, I like to if I'm playing 86, I want them to be the Indians. If I'm playing 2022, I want them to be the Guardians. If I'm playing 1898, I want them to be the Spiders. So it's just how that's if you want to do that. So I'll show you how to change that in a second. So I'm not going to choose a team to play, okay? But I'm in the commissioner mode. I can do all this stuff. So if you want to change the Indians to the Guardians, you can go in here like this and just now it will update every year when you go. If you're doing multiple seasons, it will revert back to Guardians. So you come in here, Indians. All right. If you want to get, and I have these all loaded up now. If you don't have these loaded up, it's not going to work for you, but I have these loaded up. So you can see um, the auto load, boom. Um, that's the jersey. And there it is. Class 86 jersey. And it kind of loads away right away. Okay, so I mean I have these all. That's a whole other video if you want to know how to load those up and get those files in there. So bam, to the Indians. Okay. Um, what else? What else? What else? League settings. Okay, you go in here, MLB league settings, um, and go through all these things. I always go through these. I've done this like 9 million times. I've spent more time setting up leagues. I probably have been playing leagues because I have ADHD and, and I get different ideas. All right, so scouting system. You don't need a scouting system because you're playing a replay, so you have to worry about that, right? So so you try to get rid of all this stuff you don't need. Like you don't need the scouting reports or updates, okay? You don't need all this stuff here. So potentially we don't need, if you want to do a star rating, you can. I don't use the star ratings usually, but in a replay league, I guess you can because it's not coaching system. If you want to have a coaching system, I don't do team goals because you're not being fired or hired or fired. And let's see here. You're gonna do the coaching system's fine. All this stuff is, just personal preference and what you want to save your game logs in. Prospect, storylines. If you're doing a replay, I wouldn't do storylines. Okay. Prospect rankings. I mean, it doesn't really, once again, you're playing a replay, so it doesn't really matter in terms of those things. Injuries. Um, I think that one of the guys who asked didn't want injuries, so you can enable injuries. Okay, and this is a cool thing too. You can kind of play a replay season, but have it where there's more kind of randomness. So if you put injuries in there and don't use the real lineups, okay, and you can kind of have a more randomness in there. But if you want to be it's a strict replay, okay. this is why this game is great and also why it's bad. Okay, it's bad because there are so many ways to play the game that if you have ADHD like I do and all these ideas you have, you constantly start new projects. What if I try this? What if I play a strict replay? What if I play a replay but not strict and I manage my own team and I put injuries in there? What happens if Roger Clemens gets hurt in April in '86? Do the Red Sox still win? What happens if, so that's the problem. You have so many options that you go crazy, which is why it really is the great. It's probably my all-time favorite game. I mean, I don't stream it as much or play it as much on YouTube, and it doesn't stream great. That's one thing. Um, but it's really is a great game. It's a great game. You can't go wrong. So injury rating, suspensions. You don't want to do suspensions. Once again, you can do that, but if you're doing strict replay, we're doing strict replays. Okay, you want to do personality ratings. I mean, once again, I don't do those because you're doing a replay. Who cares what their personality and all the stuff here? Like, who cares? Who cares? Who cares? Right? You're doing stable player development. Boom, we got that on there. Okay, what else am I missing here? Oh, that's good. Oh, that's good. We're doing away uniforms, AI settings. We're not trading anybody, so it doesn't matter. Um, Online league, we're not doing that. League settings, let's go down to here. Leagues and teams, we still got the Indians in there. Good, that's all set. Rules, we got the designated hitter. Okay, these are all the rules, and like you can change these, like the modern day. A reliever must face three batters, that whole thing. Once again, we're doing modified extra innings. That means the ghost runner, the Manfred runner. That's yes. Okay. We'll keep that off. Allow ties. No. It's pretty cool. You can allow ties. So, like all the options you get in there is pretty cool. The Rule 5 draft doesn't really matter. So let's get rid of that stuff, right? Um, so minor league options, all that stuff in the two. We're not trading anybody, right? We're not doing trade, not doing drafts because we're doing a replay. Financials, we're not doing financials because we're doing a replay. Options, okay. This is the awards you want, okay. All this stuff here. Um, Hall of Fame voting. I mean, we're doing this. We're not doing spring. All this stuff here is the actual schedule you're playing. So the actual schedule loaded up in there. Boom. LCS. This always bothers me. They put the CS in here. See LCS. This is just things that bug me. Right. So we're doing the playoffs here, best of seven. Okay. Um, we're doing divisions, the whole deal. Players. Okay. Once we don't need to do anything about that. Historical. All right. So what I do, we have this league strategy. This all adjusts year to year. You can actually play this replay, okay, that I'm going to do right now. And even though it's a single season replay, you can go on to next year as well and keep it going. And so if you're someone who likes to kind of build the encyclopedia, you can go on to 87 and do the same exact thing, okay? And so if you're going to do that, always keep this checked. If you plan on playing one season, that's fine. But in case you want to go on, to the next season, you can do that. Retire players according to history, yes. Players miss seasons according to history, check, yes. Automatically important historical rookies, yes. Okay, we got that. So over here, automatic. Okay, so this right here, we calc player rating based on each stats after each year. So we're doing, double weight the current year stats. So we're going high and mighty here on the season replay. Okay, base rating on real stats. We're not doing potential ratings, so it doesn't matter. Okay, current season. Don't do the 3-year thing. Don't do the 3-year period because we're doing a 86 replay, and that really will come into play with the pitchers too. All right, so stats and AI. Okay, this one right here. Once again, it doesn't really matter because the AI is putting people in that pitched in real life. Okay, these are all set up for 86. All right, this is all set up for 86, and you're good. You're good to go. Always hit save to read all that. Boom, and you're good to go. All right. Um, Here's the schedule. Now, if you want to jump in and manage somebody, so I go up here. I'm pesky pole, right? I'm not managing anybody right now. If you want to jump in and manage somebody, um, you're in commissioner mode. Go to manager options, okay, and actually no, hold on. You go to available jobs. Let's see what you do. Available jobs, boom. You click on this right here. Okay, you want to work for the Braves. Now you're the Braves manager. Okay. Um, you don't want to be in the Braves anymore. Available jobs. Okay. You go to Baltimore. You boom. Now you're the Baltimore manager and the Braves manager anymore. Okay. Um, if you want to go in here and quit your job, act as none. Boom. Then you're back to managing nobody. Okay. And doing that way. Um, if you want to kind of just follow a team along, I mean, you can go in too. If you're, let's say for example, I want to go ahead and manage somebody. I want to manage so right now I'm managing anybody. I want to go manage the Royals. All right. I can go in to my manager options here. Okay. And set everything to the bench coach who does everything. This is all like this stuff you don't need. The drafting player stuff, you're not doing that anyway, but you can put like this in here and do that. Um, and go down the line, and then you just watch, and they set all the stuff there for you. Once again, it's going to default to you don't need to do, it's going to default to the actual AI stuff, so it doesn't really matter you doing that. So I'm not sure why I even did that, but just to kind of give you an idea of things you can do. All right, so I'm going to jump out of not manage anybody, and we're going to go to the league home screen here, and we're going to play out the season. So we'll go to I'm gonna see how long this takes too. I'm not gonna edit this video. So we're gonna see how long it takes. So if I want to go to the road season ends, I'm gonna go ahead and hit that. And I shouldn't get any notifications either because I'm not managing anybody. I don't think. So let's take a look. Here we go. Let's see how long this takes. I mean, look at my watch right now. It's 7:42 on a Sunday night. So I'm doing this right now. Let's see how long this takes. It's pretty fast. This right here is a slow part. Once it gets going, it should be pretty good. Generating predictions. But while I was doing this, I really love the fictional league I created because it has, I like the fictional league because if you do the real major league ball players, they start off. That's one thing that. Um, this is transaction news. All right, so this kind of gives you an idea too of like what's going on. Okay, these are like guys. You get these transaction news of real things that happen in real life. So let's go ahead. Let's try this again. Or season ends. So I like the idea of going back and playing because I like 1980s baseball. Like that's kind of I like the balance of it all. Okay, um, so I'm getting stuff for the Royals, which I did not want to get stuff for the Royals. Terry Bell. Uh, let's go back here. Let me check something real quick. Act as none. Make sure I'm not working for the Royals still. No, I'm not. All right. I might still get some stuff from them, but I was hoping that wouldn't happen. Let's go back to standings. So in my fictional league, though, it's fictional from the standpoint of the players. And if you play with the real players and turn on the out of the park baseball sim engine, okay, you might have a situation where your best player, like George Brett, for example, becomes a bum. I mean, or you want to start with Barry Bonds. Like Barry Bonds is a rookie in '86, right? And so you might want to play '86 on and play the real players and play a career play. Well, Barry Bonds might end up becoming, I'm trying to think if he might become Jacoby Ellsbury. Okay, I mean that might be his career. And so if that may bother you, um, which is why you have to set it up a certain way so it doesn't happen. Now you may be playing out of the park baseball just for that, like to see history change, you know, to see what happens, and you might like the fact that Barry Bonds becomes like just an average player, or you know, and you might like it that maybe an average guy in real life become a superstar, but it depends on kind of what you feel in that whole idea. So I think we're done with the season. September 23rd? No, we're not quite. Why am I getting? Oh, transaction news. Okay. We're almost done. So it's pretty quick. Despite, like, and I think if I didn't have the Royals job, it wouldn't even be this long. But I took the Royals job and I clicked off it. I'm still kind of in that. Oh, the season's over. Is the season over? Okay, we got about 10 games to go. By the way, so the Yankees are leading the 86th division. The Red Sox are in 7 games back. Okay, they won in real life. Um, Boggs hitting 344. Carter, Puckett, Madeline have a big year. Madeline was kind of like the de facto kind of MVP. Clemens won it, but people thought he should have got it though too. So let's take a look at what's doing right now. So Clemens 16 and 14. What's going on? Jim Rice on a good year. Baller. Those all look pretty good. The Clemens thing's a little bit off. I mean, Clemens have a 3.76 ERA. I mean, the wins and losses you really can't control. And that's just kind of but the 3.76 ERA is pretty high for Rogers. You can have a debate on that. And that's probably why the Red Sox are not in first place. I mean, that's the difference. He went 24 and 4. So I mean, if you make Roger go 24 and 4, they're suddenly not 7 games out. Um, Angels won their division. Okay, the Mets are cruising in their division, and the Astros won their division. So it looks like we got 3 to 4 in this. So let's go ahead and finish the rest of the early season here. Oh, the Tigers won. So the Tigers. So this is not bad. I mean, so this is kind of how you kind of look at the final standings right now. The Tigers win. I mean, the Tigers were pretty decent, 86. Um, the Yankees were decent. The Red Sox 3.5 games out. And really you can point to Roger Clemens not quite having a big year. So, I mean, I think it's pretty. I think it's pretty legit. I mean, I think it's a pretty good replay. I mean, these aren't crazy replays. And I'm now curious now. What did the Tigers do in real life in '86? I should know this off the top of my head, but it's late. Well, it's not late Sunday, but I'm tired. Let's go to. Let me check on this. I'm not sure you can see this. I'm on my baseball reference page. 86 Tigers. I know they were good in '87. All right. So the Tigers went 87-75. All right. So the AL East in real life was a Red Sox 95 and 66. Okay. They go 89 and 71. So they're 6 games worse. All right. Yankees went 90 and 72 in real life. They go 91 and 70 right there. Okay. Went Tigers went 87 and 75, and they go 93 and 68. So that's kind of the difference right now. Those head to head, whatever it was, what's the difference in that stuff? So um, I mean, I think it's pretty good. I think it's pretty good as a replay. If you set it up the right way, I think it's pretty good. So just my 2 cents on that. If you want to see who wins it all, I mean, if I've gone this far, let's go ahead and do all the playoffs. All right, so the Mets won alone. The Mets beat the Angels. I mean, the Angels were one strike away from winning the AL, beating the Red Sox, and the Mets beat the Angels in five. I mean, so you got it all what you needed. All right. I mentioned before, this is season replay. Remember, I added season replay. I can go on now. See, the off season starts. We can go on 87. Okay. The awards can be named here. Let's go do the all um, Hall of Fame voting. So you can play this as a replay and play season after season as a strict season replay and build your own history that way, which is pretty cool to do. I've done a little bit of that before too. So it's really good. And this game's cheap. This game is not expensive. This game's right now it's on sale for really cheap. But even when you get it brand new, it's like 40 bucks, I think, at the most. Get every season you want. You got the updated season. Every season you want historically. It's a really good deal. It's a really good deal. And if they got rid of every baseball game in the world but this one, um, you'd be okay. I mean, I'd be okay with that. I mean, I love PC play baseball, but I can do so much a lot of stuff with this stuff too. So let's go ahead and do all the let's see who wins Rookie of the Year. Let's do all the awards. Angels World Series champions. I mean, the Mets are. I'm sorry. Let's go ahead and do the league news. All right, so Mike Scott wins the MVP. And remember in '86, Clemens won the MVP in the Cy Young. So Mike Scott wins the MVP. He went 24 and 9, and he was filthy with a 1.79 ERA. So 24 and 9 with a 1.79 ERA. What did Mike Scott do in real life in '86? What was his? I know his ERA wasn't quite that low, but what did Mike Scott do in '86? Now that's got me curious. He went 18 and 10 with a 2.22 ERA. So you got a little more run support. ERA is a little lower. So not bad. So Mike Scott, NL MVP. AL MVP is Ricky Henderson. So Ricky went 284, 26 doubles, 30 homers, 79 RBIs. And I'm kind of curious to see where because once again, out of the park baseball, they do their MVP voting um, very much like with WAR involved. And they remember back in real life, they didn't really do '86. They weren't looking at WAR back then. So you get actually sometimes you get more deserving. Well, I mean, depend. I'm not gonna get into the WAR debate. I think WAR is important. I don't think it's the greatest thing. I'm not thinking it's the end all be all, but it's better than the eye test. So let's go to that's awards. Let's go to leader. I'm trying to find the real page here. Bear with me. Uh, all right. So Clemens won. I'm trying to find the league leaders here. And my computer's not cooperating. There we go. So, so you look at the WAR leaders. Okay, in the American League, Wade Boggs actually led the league in WAR, 8.1 American League. Then Barfield, then Mattingly, then Gwynn. That wins the National League, obviously. Ripken, Trammell, and Henderson was sixth in the American League in WAR. So you can kind of make a case for that too. Let me look at the WAR ratings in here. So Ricky led the WAR. So Ricky had an 11 WAR season. Okay, that's why he won the MVP. An 11 WAR, that's historic right there. Mike Schmidt has 7.77. So let me see if he wins the MVP in that too. Well, he didn't because Mike's got one. Where do you find that out? Um, let me go back to standings. So pitcher WAR, Mike's got a 12.9 pitcher WAR. That's why he's your MVP too. All right, so that's pretty deserving. So it kind of goes by that. Teddy Higuera with a 9.2 pitcher WAR in real life in 1986. Teddy Higuera led the American League in WAR for combined for pitching and hitters. He led all the baseball. I'm sorry, all the baseball. The 9.4 Teddy Higuera did. So in our replay, he went 9.2 in real life 9.4. Clemens was 7.4 in our replay. So, and I know not everyone loves WAR, but I'm just trying to kind of show you how pretty good this replay is in terms of if you want to do a strict replay, you can do out of the park baseball with a strict replay, and it's pretty damn good. Okay, it's pretty damn good. So that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Have a good night. Bye.